This conference will now be recorded.
Hello everyone, very good morning to all of you. Welcome to SQL class. We are in our week 1 of SQL class. So let's get started. Let's have a quick recap of what we studied in yesterday's class. So in yesterday's class, we understood what is an SQL and learning SQL, how does it help me in my job, and how does data get stored in a database, how does your application communicate with your database, and how this knowledge helps me in building my better test cases, better test execution, being a business analyst, understanding your application, understanding the application design. And we also seen how to install SQL Server on your machine for your practice, as we'll be learning queries from this week on. So we need to understand like how do we install that, so that way you have a tool available on your machine for your practice. Okay, so in yesterday's class we gone through the installation guide. I have one more guide, which is a troubleshooting guide. In the troubleshooting guide, which is shared in along with yesterday's recorded video. So in this, if at all you run into some issues, you could see what are the next steps you need to follow. Like, okay, if you see this error coming in, what are the next steps you need to follow has been given in the troubleshooting guide, which will help you in case of any issues that arise while your installation is happening. Okay, so you can see like there are 3 different errors for which there are steps given. Okay. All right. So Uma, I guess you are facing some issues like wherein Northwind database you're not able to see it, right? So what we can do is we can catch up after the class. So I guess even Minzol is facing the same issue.
Because I tried a lot of times late till yesterday.
Okay. So Uma, Minzul, just hang on. After the class, we will just go over once again on the installation guide and let's see how it works out. Okay.
Okay. Because I cannot see the database, not the Wing database there.
You're not seeing the database not when you executed the script as well, right? Did you execute the script given in the running notes, the installation guide?
Because I was confused where to run, because when I put it on the window, it says error.
Okay, you have to execute the script, then only the Northwind database would be shown. Okay, so we'll go through this after the class. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Minzul, we can talk about it as well.
Thank you so much.
Sandeep, that's right. This particular version is not supported on a Mac. That's correct. So what you can try it out is you may have to see if you can install on a Docker and see if that works. Okay. For Mac, this SQL Server version might not directly support. You might have to create a Docker and then you can try it out. Okay. All right. So Nirali, go through the recorded video which you got from Madhu. So that way you understand what has happened in yesterday's class. Okay. All right. Okay, guys. So let's get started. So any other questions from yesterday's class? I know like Oma and Minzul, so you guys were facing issues in terms of installation. So what after the class, we'll quickly go over on the running notes and the installation guide once again, so we can see what exactly is the issue. All right, any other questions other than from Uma and Minzol? All right, so we will study the commands from today on. So in yesterday's class, we studied like, okay, there are various SQL commands, and SQL is being used by so many different teams, not just by a testing team, but not just by the testing team or not just by the development team. So you would have a developers working on your database, you will have your database administrators working, you will have your business analysts working, and in an organization there will be multiple testers working on your different database, right? So when you are working on a database, it's very important because you are directly accessing. See, this is how the database connects to, right? In the real time, for any customer, when you are accessing a database, so I can access database in various ways. Okay, now I wanted to run some SQL commands. So as for that will help me in my test execution or in my test data preparation or understanding the application. Now I have to be responsible. Why? Because when you are manipulating some data, when you are creating some data, it is not that you are the only testing team working in an organization. There might be 100 different testers working on different types of projects in an organization, right? So whatever we do update, we have to be very responsible in updating or manipulating the data. So now, as a part of the course, we will be studying some of the commands from the DDL language, some of the commands from the DML language, and some of the commands from TCL language. Okay, we'll not talk about the DCL, which is data control language commands. These are something which is not for you as a tester, you need to know. This is used by your database administrator to grant and revoke access on the different tables. Now, what are DDL commands? DDL commands are to change your data definition language. DDL stands for data definition language commands, wherein you can modify the table structure. You can add some new columns, add constraints, remove constraints. You are modifying your table structure. Then comes your data manipulation language commands, wherein you wanted to fetch some data, insert data, update data, and so on. Then there are transaction control language commands which help me to make sure our transaction goes well. Few transactions maybe you wanted to revoke, few transactions you wanted to commit it. So these transaction control language commands are some of the things which we will be studying. So in the real time, out of all of these commands, DML commands are widely popular and used more. More often, we would be using data manipulation language commands. So let's start with the most popular one out of your SQL. The first command is select command. Select is from a family of DML, data manipulation language command, to retrieve the data from the database. See, this is the foremost thing what we do, right? When I connect to the database, I see so many different tables. What would I like to do? I would like to see what is the kind of data that is saved in a particular table. So I will be curious, right? Like, okay, hey, I wanted to see what is there in the employees table, what is there in the customers table, what is there in the products table. So this is the most popular out of all the commands and more often used. You wanted to just retrieve the data. You're not doing anything, just retrieving a data from a database. So before we run some of the commands, let's connect to SSMS. SSMS is our UI to connect to your database. SSMS stands for SQL Server Management Studio. Now when I connect it, it connects me to the database. See, do remember it's an object-oriented software. Every object has to be, it always shows the instance of it. You always have to refresh your objects every time to get the latest information what you are looking for. So in the left hand side, you see your object explorer. And when you expand your databases, you would see the databases for which you are given an access. See, in the real time, when you join an organization, you might see more than different databases you would be seeing. So why I'm seeing so many databases? How do I know which database I need to work? As I said, right, so you would get to know about the database names and what is the database where you would be working on from your development team, or your manager would help you with it. Okay, one thing before we get on to this database is, see, what we are seeing is, let's say, for example, we are working for Amazon. We are all part of technology team of Amazon, wherein I am a techie guy or tester or a business analyst working for Amazon. So now when I see an Amazon.com, what do you guys think? This www.amazon.com, we call it as production URL. It is in a production means it is live and up and running, and global customers are using it. So we never test on the production URL. Nobody goes and tests it in an Amazon.com. Why? Because this is a production. So in the real time too, when you join a company like Amazon or so, Amazon is a production URL. Every production, and it has a production database corresponding to it. We don't work on productions. We just use the production as a reference. We test it in the test environments. There will be a test environment, something like int.amazon.com. Or there could be a test environment, something like sys.amazon.com, where you might be doing some testing for an integration testing, system testing. You guys will be studying all of it as you are also joining the QA course. That way you will understand all of this. Do remember, nobody tests it in Amazon.com. That's a production. You're not changing anything in production. You first, the developers, develop it in the development environments. There could be some development environments for them, like Amazon.com or dev3.amazon.com. Some development environments where they develop it. It will be given to the testers to test it. And then finally, once the testing is done and acceptance is done by the BA and everybody, the code goes into production. Okay, so nobody directly develops it in the production. Nobody directly tests it in the production. Okay, this is a quick information. You will get to know about more of it as a part of QA class. Now, when I say there is a test environment, there is a corresponding test database. It might be like int Amazon, something like that. Okay, this could be the host name of my test database. And the same way, there could be a host name, sys1 Amazon. This could be the host name for my database. So when you are connecting to the SQL server, as I said, when you connect it, you can choose your database where you are working on. Respective databases would be listed based on your access. I might see, okay, database 1 for my integration testing, database 2 for my system testing, and so on. You might see more than one databases based on the access you have. Okay, and as a tester, your access will be given by your DBAs. So based on which environment you are testing, you would choose your respective database. Now, when I expand my database, I see so many different folders. My main name is tables, because data is stored in the form of tables. Now I see so many tables, DBOs. What is a DBO? DBO stands for database object. Everything is an object in your object-oriented software, right? This is a software. A table is an object. A view is an object. Everything is an object. Now, table. How does a table look like? We all know, right? Like, okay, there are columns and there are rows. Data is saved in the form of tables. These are your rows. These are your columns. Now, let's expand one table. When you expand your columns, you see so many different columns. Now, every column is identified with a name of the column, which is a customer ID or a company name or a contact name. And every column tells me what is the data that allows inside that column. Okay, customer ID is a character, means only characters are allowed. Okay, contact title is then character, means it allows only characters. Okay, then you see a size, the number 5 or 40. What does it tell me? Okay, 5 is the maximum limit. I cannot insert in this particular column more than 5 characters. In this column, not more than 30. In this column, not more than 50. So columns tells me the different attributes or reference or facts about a particular customer. So every customer is identified in a row. So one row of information tells me about one customer. Columns tells me the different properties, different attributes of that customer. What is the customer address? What is the customer city? What is the customer's phone number? In the database terminology, table is nothing but an entity. Columns are nothing but attributes. Rows are nothing but records. Okay. So when you are talking in a database terminology, table is an entity, column is an attribute, rows are records. And every column has a name, a data type, and a size. In a similar manner, you can look for one more table. Let's say a products table. So products table has a product ID, name, supplier ID, and so on. And every column is identified with a column name, the data type, what it allows. It is an integer, means only the numerics are allowed, and so on. So this is how a database will be loaded and the database structure will be loaded. Yeah, those are constraints. In addition to the column name, data type, and the data size, you see something like a not null, null, p case, f case, and so on. These are all constraints. We'll not talk about constraints today. It will be too much of the information. As a table has various columns, the data types, and the data size. Constraints, in a simpler term, it is a rule. Rules tells me what kind of data is allowed. There are so many rules you can apply in a table, like what kind of data you wanted to allow. Now, as a tester, you are not designing these tables. These tables are created by your development team. Your developers will be creating these tables, the columns, the data types, the data size, and everything. So what is my job as a tester? I wanted to get inside the database to look for the data, to create data. When I'm executing, I wanted to look into it, right? So that is what I would. Now, where do you run all your SQL queries? Click on your new query, a query editor gets open. In this query editor, you would write down all your queries. In here, you could see your query editor saves with a dot extension as .sql. See, every time I don't need to write down my SQL queries. I don't need to reinvent every time, right? I write down my SQL queries and I would like to save it. So you can click or you can write something here and click on save. It will ask you where do you want to save the SQL file. You could choose to save it on your desktop and whichever path you would like to save it. Okay. So now when you are running queries, two things you always need to know is you need to point to the correct database. You are executing this query against what database? You need to point to the right database and you need to know what table you are looking for. Okay, so this is about your database, how your database loads, what are the various objects it will be there, and how is your table defined. Now we'll talk about our first command, which is the select command. Select command, what does it do? It allows me to retrieve the data. Okay, I would like to see what are the customers' information. What will I do? The syntax is select start from customers. As you can see, as I'm typing in, you see a small help coming up. So that is a feature in SQL Server, which will show you all the different database objects starting with a C or so. See, you can see so many different database objects are there. As I keep typing in, the list narrows it down to finally what you are looking for. You can select it from here, you can type it. Select star from customers, the table name. Star tells me, or an asterisk tells me, I wanted to fetch all the column information from this table. Now, what is the column information? There are so many columns, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, total of 11 columns in the customer table. Execute. You need to select your query and then click on execute. Then you would see all the customer information coming in. This is your result set. In your result set, you would also see how many rows of data are there. Means 91 rows. Means there are total of 91 different customers. And if you would like to take a dump of this data, you can select it here, right click, copy or copy with headers, and you can paste it in an Excel. You can just paste it here. And you can always, you don't need to connect to the database, look for your customer information, right? I could directly save it in an Excel and refer it for my future purpose. Okay. So you can do that as well. You can basically copy the result set. You can choose to copy what you want. Okay, I want the row 5, row 10, and so you can copy all the data and paste it in an Excel or so for your future purpose. Now, star or an asterisk gives me all the column information. Now, say for example, hey, I don't want all the column information. I want to choose only the respect few columns. I don't want all the 11 columns from the customers table. What you need to do? Yes, you can also fetch the data, select. Instead of an asterisk, you need to call out the column names. Column name should be exactly the same as it is, like company name or so. Do remember, SQL is not case sensitive. I can give lowercase, uppercase, it doesn't matter. Okay, I need a company name. Order also doesn't matter. I can get a country, and then I can get a city, then a phone number, then a customer ID. I can choose any order from your table, whatever columns I wanted to fetch. It need not be in uppercase, lowercase, it doesn't matter. But name, the exact name has to match. Company name should be exactly the company name from customers table. Execute. Now what I'm choosing? I'm choosing what column information I would like to have. So there is no uppercase, lowercase information. It could be in uppercase, it could be in lowercase, it doesn't matter. Okay. So I can just write it like, okay, select start from customers. So there is no difference whether it's in uppercase or lowercase in SQL Server. Now, when I'm fetching this data, say when I'm doing select start from customers, it fetches complete information. Now, I don't want complete information. I would like only few customer data. Like say, for example, I'm looking for customers from Canada. So what will I do? I will say where country. What is the criteria with which you wanted to filter out the data? Whenever you wanted to filter out the data, you need to use a where clause along with your select command to filter out the data. What is the condition you wanted to apply? Okay, I wanted to apply a country condition. I would say country is equal to Canada. Execute. So now there are 3 customers from Canada. So select star from customers where country is equal to Canada. So why am I using where clause? Where clause is used when you have a condition to apply. I don't want to fetch complete customer data. I wanted to fetch only based on my condition, which is country is equal to Canada, phone number is equal to 1234, or city is equal to London. You can do any condition based on the columns you have. You can choose any condition you wanted to. Let's apply one more condition. You can apply condition to a command which has an asterisk or to any other command. Asterisk is used when you want to fetch complete column information from a table. If I want only few column information like, okay, company name, city, comma, country of the customer from the customer's table, then I'm not using an asterisk. I'm calling out the column names which I wanted to fetch in the result set. Okay. Where, say this time I want country is equal to USA. Execute. So I'm fetching the USA guys. Okay. Now what am I fetching? Am I fetching the complete column information? No. I didn't use an asterisk. Instead, I called out the column names what I want. I want only the company name, the city of the company, and the country of the. Okay. Whenever you have a condition to apply, you would use a where clause. This is what is the select command to retrieve the data. You can retrieve any table information. Star is to fetch the complete column information. Okay. Say let's fetch from employees table. Okay. What will I do? I would say select star from employees. Execute. Why am I using star here? To fetch complete column. Whatever columns you have in your table, you are using star to fetch it. If I don't want complete columns, what will I do? I'll call out the column names. Okay, I want first name of the employee. Then maybe I want first name, maybe a title and a country of the employee. From employees, execute. That's right. You don't need a semicolon at the end. Okay. So star is used to fetch the complete column information. If I want a specific, then we would use the only the columns what we want. Star Canada, what is it, Uma? What was your question? Where country is equal to Canada?
Yeah, but you're not getting the whole thing, right? You're only asking for Canada, right? So you're still using star, right?
Star is to fetch the column information inside your table. Condition applies at the row level, rows. Rows tells me what are all the customers you want, right? Every customer is identified in a row. You want complete customer table data, but only for Canada, guys. Okay.
But you're still using star there, right?
Yeah, star is to fetch complete table information, table column information, all the different columns inside your table, you're fetching that data.
All right,
But you're not fetching complete customer's table information. You're fetching complete columns, but you're applying a condition on what customers you want.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So now one question is like, let's execute this customers table once again. Now, when I filter out the data, let's say instead of Canada, I'll filter out USA. Execute. So now when I filter out this USA guys, I see there are total of 13 rows. There are total of 13 customers in the customers table. How do I know it is USA, or should I use US, or should I use u.s.a? How do I know that? Since I already worked on these tables, I know it is USA, I fetched this data. How can I decide whether it should be USA or should it be U.S.A and so? How do I get to know this information? You will get to know this information based on the requirements given to you. See, how is this data coming into these tables? Anyone? How does the data come into these tables?
By inserting that table.
Yeah, who inserts it?
We can create tables.
No, who inserts the data inside these database tables? You might see 10 tables, 20 tables, 100 different tables. Who inserts the data?
DBA.
No. See, there are the data, the main source. Okay, there are various sources of data. The main source of data is from your application. How does this customer data come into this customer table? We talked about in yesterday's class too, right? So if there is a customer, this customer guy clicks on new user enrollment on Amazon, your web server takes all that information and pass it on to the database, and it saves in your database. Database will return back a result saying, okay, if this email ID is already there, it says, okay, hey, email ID already exists. If not, it says, okay, the user account is created successfully and the customer will get a notification on the web application or the mobile saying the customer account got created. So your main source of data is from application. Application inserts all the data. How does the orders come? Orders come when the customer raises an order, the data will be saved in your database through your web server. Web server passes that information, orders get saved. This is the main source of data in your database. The second source of data, like let's say for example, products. See, products are not something which the customer won't create, right? The products would have been already inserted in the Amazon. Customers are using those products to place an order. So this data would have been loaded by your DBAs through batches or so. Okay. So the main source of data is application. Your application is inserting all this data. Some data like, okay, employees information. Employees information, it will also be created through an application, maybe a different one, or your DBA loads it. Okay. Do remember, main source of data coming inside your database is from application. Now, when a customer is created with a USA country, the data is saved as USA, not U.S.A or not U.S. The reason being that is the requirement given by your business analyst, and that is how your web server is coded by your developers. That is why it is saving it as USA and not this. So how do you know? Because you as a tester, you know what you are expecting in the database. So that is when you will fetch that information. Okay. When I look for U.S, no data will come. Let's say when I look for U.S.A, do I see any data? No, because data is not saved in that format. Data is saved based on the requirement. Your web server, your application basically is creating the data based behalf of the customer. Customer inserts the information, that data pipes on back to the database. Let's say you're creating an account and here assume like, okay, there is a field where the customer chooses for a country, and this country information is saved in the customer's table. Okay. Now I can apply conditions like USA. I can apply various conditions. I can look for customer not for a country. Maybe I would like to look for customer of country is equal to France. Then you would apply that condition to fetch the data. Okay. Now, if I have more than one condition, say I want customers from USA or UK or Canada, then what will I do? I have to use an OR clause. OR clause is used to apply conditions if you have more than one value you would like to verify. So how do you do that? Let's write down. I would say select start from customers table. I'm using star to fetch complete column information, but now I'm applying conditions. I don't want complete row information. I want country equal to USA or country equivalent to UK or country equivalent to Canada. Exit. So what it is giving me, if you see the data, you would in the country column, you only see either a UK or a USA guy or a Canada guy. Only those. You will not see any other country. Why? Because we applied a condition to fetch only those countries. So where clause is to filter out the data. Now if I have multiple values to match against to one column, I would use an OR clause. Okay. You can apply these conditions in any table. Okay, choose any table. You can apply the conditions on any column. Say let's apply the conditions on city column this time. Customers where city is equal to London or city equivalent to Seattle. Say let's apply these two, or maybe city equivalent to Paris. Let's see how many customers we would get. There are London guys, there are, excuse me, there are Paris guys and there is Seattle guys. This is how you would apply the conditions. Now, let's say, for example, you want country is equal to USA. Country you want it to be USA. But say, for example, let's take one another column, say contact title. Contact title has to be owner. You want data which matches these two conditions, which is country is equal to USA and contact title is equal to owner. Since there are two different columns on which you have to apply the conditions, you would use an AND clause. Why? Because you want both the conditions to be met. Right? An AND clause. Instead of an or is to either this or that. Right? Now, an AND means you want both the conditions to be met. Let's see how do we write down the query. Say, select start from customers where country is equal to USA and contact title is equal to owner. Next. So in the country as USA, there are only two customers whose contact title is owner. So one thing you would have noticed, I am giving all the values in single quotes. Why? Because all of these columns are of characters. You can see there is a character, there is a variable character. See, even though varchar stands for variable character, char stands for regular character. Everything is a character. It takes alphanumeric values. Now, every character column value, I need to give it in single quotes. If I have an integers, I don't need to give it in single quotes. Let's check that also. Let's look for some products. Select start from products. Will fetch me the complete data. Once I have the complete data, then I would like to filter out like maybe on a money or like any other integer value, supplier ID, category ID, these are all integers. So when I'm filtering out on any integers, let's say supplier ID, I don't need to give it in single quotes. I can just say 1, execute. Why? Because supplier ID is a column which takes integer value. However, even though I give it in single quotes, it works exactly the same. It doesn't throw me any error. For a character or a varchar, it is mandatory to give it in single quotes. For an integers, it is not mandatory. You can give it in single quotes, you need not. Okay.
But only in this or in Toad also it's the same rules apply.
Even in, sorry, can you repeat it, Uma?
Toad, when we are using Toad, right? Toad tool for SQL.
Toad is a UI for
Right,
Oracle database. That's
right.
right. Mhm.
Yes. So is the same thing applies there also, or the
See,
integer
as
when
I said,
you are
right?
talking
See,
about
the
integer?
syntax. See, the queries will be the same. The logic of why you are writing this query or what is the reason behind why you are writing this query is the same. Okay. Now, the syntax would change a bit when you're executing the same query on an Oracle database versus a SQL Server database. There could be a little difference in the syntax. All right.
I'm not, yeah, but about the integer, you're putting the co column, right? So
Yeah,
you just
quotes.
explained about the integer you don't have to put. So does the same rule apply to when while testing in Toad? The
That's
SQL
what I'm
in Toad?
saying, right? Yeah. So the variation could be there. In integers, you never need to give it in single quotes. Okay. That is for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Whether if you give it in single quotes, whether it will work in Toad or not, you have to work it on Toad and then only you will get to know about it. Okay.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you.
When you're filtering the data, which is an integer, small int, bit, money, you don't need to give it in single quotes. Even though you give it in single quotes, it works in SQL Server. Okay.
Oh, thank you.
Now we got the data. And now if you want to sort your data, sorting is like either I wanted to sort it in an ascending order or in a descending order, you could sort it. So how do you sort the data? You'll sort the data by adding the clause order by. Order by is the clause which is used to sort the data. Let's say, for example, let's take the same query. Okay, I'll execute this query. I'll select this query and click on execute. Now, I got this data like this, UK, Canada, USA. So it is not sorted. Maybe I would like to have a sorting list. At the end of the query, add the order by clause. Order by based on what column you want to sort. Okay, I want to sort with country column. Now what happens? Order by is the clause which is used to sort your data. You can see here the country column is sorted with a C coming in first, then a UK, then the USA. It sorts in an ascending order. You can sort with a country, you can sort with a city, you can do anything. Let's do a city. Then you see all the cities are alphabetically sorted. A, B, C, E, K, L, P, S, T, W, V, and W. Right? You can sort with any column. And you can give more than one column also. Let's say, for example, I would say country, comma, city. So what happens when I'm giving more than one column in a sorting list? When you're giving more than one column in a sorting list, it first sorts based on the first column. Once it sorts based on the first column, inside that column, the cities will be sorted. Let's see this example. There are 3 customers in Canada. So it first sorted all the country column. C is coming first, then the UK, then the USA. Now within this Canada, it sorts with a city. M coming first, then a T, and then a V. In the same manner, if you could see for a UK guys, first comes the C and then the L. The same manner, USA guys. USA guys are also sorted. Within that country, all the cities are sorted. Okay. Now, if I want to sort in a descending order, what would I do? So let's fetch one more data. Let's do a simple data, just fetching all the customers. Okay, I fetch all the customers. I wanted to sort based on, say, contact title. I will say order by contact title descending. Now what happens? Exit. So the contact title is ordered descending. First comes the sales rep, then the sales managers, sales associates, owners, marketing manager, then comes the Ace. Why? You used the keyword descending. DESC stands for descending sorting. If I don't give a descending sorting, it will be sorted in an ascending order. This is your ascending starting with the A's and then M and O and an S, and so if I give a descending keyword, it would sort in the descending order. So what all we studied? To fetch a data with the select command. If I want to fetch all column information, I would use star. If I want only specific column information, I would call out those columns. Then if I want to apply the conditions, then I would use a where clause. When I have multiple conditions on the same column, I would use an or clause. If I have conditions on two or more different columns, I would use an and clause. To sort the data, we would use an order by clause. To sort it in the descending order, I would add a descending at the end. Okay. Let's do one simple conditions. Okay. I want customers in these countries. Customers in London, UK, USA. Okay, and Canada. And their contact title has to be owner, sales representative. What I need to do? I want customers in any of these countries and their contact title has to be owner or a sales rep. I have to create an or clause for these, an or clause for these, and between these two columns, I have to create an end clause. Right? This is how I need to do. Let's see how to write down the query. I'll say select start from customers. I'll fetch all column information where country is equal to. I'll just copy this. You already have this data. Just copy. Country is equal to USA, UK, or Canada. And contact title is equal to owner or contact title is equal to sales representative. Okay, so these are my conditions I wanted to meet. Exit. Let's do an order by to verify the data is coming up correctly. Order by country. Exit. Now, when I look at the data, the countries, I am expecting only USA, UK, Canada. But I see Argentina, Brazil, France, Germany, Venezuela too. So country conditions didn't work. Okay, let's see if the contact title conditions work. In the contact title, you could see an owner, a sales representative. Oh yeah, even this it didn't work. You see some with a marketing manager, some with a sales associate, and so. So even this didn't work. What do you think is the problem with this query, guys? Anyone? Why it did not work? The countries did not match. The contact title did not match. No, you could see some owners, you could see some sales rep, but you're seeing a marketing managers too. The reason it did not work is there are so many conditions, SQL got confused. So whenever you have so many conditions, you always need to separate it out, set up as a, put it in a parenthesis, just so that SQL understands this is one set of condition to look for, and this is the second set of condition to look for. These two are on the conditions of a contact title column. These are of the conditions on a country column. So when you separate it out with a rounded parenthesis, it would help SQL. Otherwise, SQL gets confused and gives us the result which we are not looking for. Now, when I execute this command, I would get the right data. UK, USA. I did not get Canada, guys. Why? Because maybe there are none with a owner as the contact title or sales representative as the contact title. That is why you got 3 UK guys who are sales reps, and you have 2 owners and 3 USA sales representatives in USA. You did not get Canada, guys. Why? Because there are none with this contact title. Okay. Someone has a question? I was hearing somebody speaking out. Anyone has a question?
So,
See, the reason, yeah,
so
go on.
this is like order of operation, right? Whatever in the parenthesis that operate first operate and then other, like
Yeah. So, see, basically, you are distinguishing the conditions to be met in one set. This is the first set, this is the second set. See, it doesn't matter order. I can give contact title first and then an order or this. Doesn't matter, right? The order doesn't matter. You are just distinguishing your filter conditions. You have so many conditions to meet, you are filtering it out. Okay.
okay.
See, the reason we don't ask you guys to write down the queries in the classes, we have a limited time where you need to go over the course contents, and we will be sharing you the recorded videos for you guys. So as you can go through them, and while you are practicing, you can refer them as well. Okay. So all the queries, whatever we are learning, are part of these running nodes. So while you're practicing on your machines, if you get some issues, you're not able to find out the SQL query, you have them readily available in the running node. Okay. That's right. If you, when you have larger queries, if you separate it out, it is easier, right? See, for me as a tester, when I'm writing this query, it is clear for me too, and it is clear definitely for SQL Server. You're separating it. Okay. It doesn't harm if you add these parameters. Now, let's say, for example, see, when I'm executing a simple query like select star from customers, what it does, it fetches all the customers information. Now, assume this is the Northwind is the database for Amazon. And you can imagine how many customers will be there for Amazon. some millions of customers, right? And if I run this query like this, select star from customers, why do I need all those millions of customers? First thing, I don't need all those customers. Second, it is unnecessarily your performance of the database is getting impacted, right? You're unnecessarily asking the database to retrieve so much of data which you don't need it. So we usually don't run a simple query like this, select star from customers, or even for that matter, products. How many products could be there in an Amazon? How many orders could be there in an Amazon? It's a huge tables, right? If you take in the real time. So we usually use the top commands. So what are these top commands? Top commands will retrieve the top 10 data, top 20 data, top 100 data also. So what is the criteria for top? Just the ranking. How the data got inserted, it will just fetch you the data. See, usually in the runtime, we will not just run a simple query like this. Usually give a condition like, okay, I would like a country, guys, as India. I would like from USA, or I have only the city of Seattle or London or so. Or just simply use top command, top 10 customers. Top 10, asterisk will retrieve top 10 customers in your customers table. Whatever the data got inserted, the ranking based on which they got inserted, you will get that data. And when I'm using this top command, I can give an asterisk, or I can choose what columns I want. I'll say I want top 7 data for a company name, a city, comma country, comma phone from customers table. So what you're trying to do? You're trying to fetch 7 customers, but you're not fetching all the column information. You're only fetching 4 column information. Exit. So you would be getting the 7 customers information, but only for those 4 columns. No, top and limit are not same. There are difference, but yes, limit is also to limit the data. That's right. Limit is used in a different databases, like MySQL or so, but the purpose is the same. Okay? You just want how much of data you want. A 7 or 23 or 44 customers or so, you just give whatever data you want. Yes, you could use. Okay, I want top 44 customers, or let's say I want just top 4 customers of where country is equal to Brazil. So out of Brazil country, you will get top 4 customers. You can apply these where clauses everywhere, right? You can apply the conditions. Now, when you have a top customers, okay, there is one more query. Is it possible to select last? Sorry, I didn't get your question, Purvi.
It's like we are selecting top 10 customer, right? Is it possible to last 10 customers, like depend on the registration, right? It's like whoever registered last 10, is it possible to select that customers?
Yeah, you mean I still didn't get your question. Last customers money.
If the sequence is like if the customers are like 1 to 100, we are selecting first 10. Is it possible to select from 91 to 100?
Yes, yes. From the bottom, right? What do you do?
Yeah,
What do
I
you
am
think we should
what, yeah, from the bottom.
You can just do an order by. Just do an order by. Maybe just give a customer ID and say descending order and execute. So you will get the bottom, guys. Okay.
Got you. Yeah, thank you.
But
There is
my
no bottom as a command, but yeah, the same top, you can just do it in the reverse order, just sort it in the reverse. Okay.
oh, okay.
Yeah, go on. Someone has a question?
No, you answered my question. Thank you.
So instead of giving a number like, okay, 10 or a 4 or a 44 or a 55, I can also mention in a percentage. The same command, I could write it as select top 10%, start from customers table. Execute. There are total of 91 customers in this table. So 10% of 91 is like around 9 dot something. So you get a 10 customers. Instead of mentioning a hard-coded value like I need 244 customers or so, you give it in a percentage. I want 25%. So 25% of 91, around 23 customers. So you would get 20. Okay. So you can use a top command or you can use a top percentage. So use.
In that percentage also you can say descending order or something.
Yeah. If you want it in the reverse order, yes, just do an order.
Yeah, okay.
So it's time, guys. So we'll pause here and we'll continue in our next class. Our next class will be next Saturday, which is February 13th. February 13th will be our next class. So any questions from anyone before we wind up for today? I know Mizunal and Uma wants to discuss on the installation questions, but other than that, anyone has any questions on whatever we studied today? In the chat, I guess I didn't miss out on any questions as well. Someone was asking varchar, right? So we'll study about the differences between character and a varchar in detail in future classes. But basically, for you guys to understand character and varchar, basically takes a character information, all characters. Okay. All right. So Uma, can you share your TeamViewer ID or UltraViewer ID? Okay, I guess there are. Okay, we can be on this meeting one. Hold on. So if there are no questions, guys, so all of you guys can wind up. Other than whoever has some installation questions, they can just be staying on. Have a great day ahead, guys. Take care. Talk to you guys next week. Thank you.
My ID is 5